Are you ready?
Quit time!
We are the best in the world at what we do.
It's the PriMalLow Wrestling Show with Robert Price, Tom Malloy, and your host, Rich Lopez.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for ringing in that new year. This is episode number 40 of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Rich Lopez, with my two colleagues, as always, Tom Malloy and Robert Price.
Hello, hello.
What's up there, folks?
No Happy New Year's greetings?
No Happy New Year's.
It's a new day.
New day?
It's
a
a
new
year
year
rocks.
New year rocks.
Real quick, before we even get started, I want to say Robert Price is trooping it with a sore throat today, so if it's a little hoarse, just realize he's putting his voice on the line right now. Literally, I see the waves, so they're really on the line. But also, before I go down this card, a lot of reports. We'll get out of the way now. Just to talk about it briefly, we'll talk about it in depth next week, if it's true. If not, it's part of a storyline. What are your thoughts on AJ Styles possibly going to WWE? Price.
I think that the market's going to become too flooded now.
If he does go?
Yeah, too many superstars.
What about the other three that I read?
That's what I mean. There's too many superstars coming in the WWE now.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Not enough top spots.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Malloy?
I could just see AJ Styles coming in for like a Royal Rumble. Maybe all four of them coming in and they take out the Wyatt family and that's maybe about it. Or the Wyatt family throws them out. Something real, or else even they throw out the social outcasts or whatever.
Yeah.
You want to call them.
Just to get them over.
Just to get them over, and then they'll be like, oh, wow, AJ, because everyone knows who AJ Styles is. The rest of them, like, I mean, I know who Luke Gallows is from his previous tenure in the
Doc
WWE.
Gallows, dude.
Oh, it's not Luke Gallows. Yeah.
No, I'm messing around. It is Doc Gallows, but
Yeah.
I was just messing around.
It was Luke Gallows at that point in time.
No, yeah, no.
But and maybe Carl Anderson. I've seen him wrestle a few times.
Yeah.
But overall, it's just gonna. I think it's gonna be a one night stand with him if they come in to the WWE.
No, yeah. Just the other three names are Nakamura, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson. They might be tagging along with AJ Styles to WWE. So, like I said, we just want to touch on it, give you guys our thoughts, and next week we will talk about that more in depth. On the card for today's episode, sorry for that door, we have Raw recap as always. You know, the headliner was Reigns versus Sheamus for the, sixth time in 2 months, not even?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. A couple more things about the Royal Rumble match. A lot of participants pretty much inducted themselves into the match. And then, as always, we're going to do our topic discussion, and it's going to regard a lot of promo scripting that Jericho and Mick Foley have been talking about previously on their blogs and podcasts.
We're also going to have the PriMalLow Mailbag, where we are not phoning in this week. We're taking a question from Mike Downlevich this week. Also, we're going to have the NXT Awards. The crew will give you our winners.
Then we'll conclude our show with our self high five. Favorite Royal Rumble WWE title matches.
Yeah, it's always very vital for the Royal Rumble. But after this short break, we will proceed with a Raw recap, so stay tuned. Yes, you are hearing it correct. That is Roman Reigns' theme song, and the reason why he's our brief interlude is because before this AJ Styles, headlining news story that broke out today, a lot of discussion was going on with this Royal Rumble thing. As you guys know, Raw, we'll talk about the title match more in depth in a little bit, but, the thing for Royal Rumble is his title's on the line in the Royal Rumble match, something that hasn't been done since 1992. So, with that segue being said, Malloy, what do you think about the title match on Raw?
I thought it was it was very similar to the last title match they had on Raw, 2 weeks ago now?
I forget what it was.
2-3 weeks ago. I think them wrestling so much is starting to get overrated and annoying. I like that Vince McMahon's there. It helps bring some popularity to Roman Reigns, and it's actually awesome that Vince McMahon still gets so much heat. And I also saw, too, that he actually flipped off some people in the crowd during the show.
That too. I did.
That's pretty awesome. I also like the fact that Chris Jericho's back, put himself in the Rumble.
I was going to segue into that, dude. Calm down. It's just a title match.
Oh, just talking about the title match? I thought you said Raw as a whole. I'm sorry about that.
No, my bad. I did say that. That's my apologies. Price, what did you think about the title match?
I thought it was
Yeah?
I don't really expect too much when you have a title match on Raw.
Yeah, unless it's like a title change, like there was 3 weeks ago. I completely agree with you.
But how often does that happen?
No, I know.
It's
It means, yeah.
It's
so
not the Attitude Era anymore.
I completely agree. Did anybody think that Triple H was going to come out at any point in that?
I thought when Stephanie got flipped over the ropes, that was like his breaking point. It was like he flew in there.
That's what I thought too, and I thought that was going to set up a Rumble match.
Yeah.
But
For the
obviously
title.
we're mistaken. We'll talk about the title match at the end of this segment. A couple more things, like you said, the participants being revealed in the Rumble, but before that, the Social Outcast stable just got ignited, I guess, with Heath Slater, Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, and Curtis Axel. I guess they're really, really popular, in the IWC and especially on social media, but they never really got that push that, everybody thought they deserved. What do you think about this stable, guys? Mullah, you can start off.
I think it's going to be the new generation of the Job Squad.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah.
Job Squad 2.0.
I mean, it's cool. I really like Adam Rose. I'm a big fan of his. Heath Slater, not so much. Curtis Axel, not so much. I do like Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm a Bo Lever.
Good.
But, yeah, I mean, I think this might be a fresh start for all of them because, I mean, they really are going nowhere with their careers.
Yeah, remember?
And when you look at it, too, these 4 wrestlers, Curtis Axel isn't going to get fired because he's Mr. Perfect's son. Adam Rose isn't going to get fired because he's an NXT original.
Okay.
Same with Heath Slater, and Bo Dallas isn't going to get fired because he's IRS's son and also Bray Wyatt's brother. So they all have they're not going to get fired anytime soon. So WWE Creative has to do something with them.
Okay.
It's not like how when 3-man band was there, the other 2 members of the band got kicked out.
There's no ties to them.
There's no ties whatsoever.
Okay. Bryce, what do you think about this? Real quick, this reminds me of? It's almost like the similar grouping, too. I think we're missing like 2 more people. Remember the Level Up segment we used to do?
Oh, yeah.
And when he kept saying that he didn't like all these people, it reminded me of when he kept saying that to that Level
I
Up.
should think all these people were in our segment before.
Yeah, they probably definitely were in that Level Up
I
segment.
I still said the same too, Adam.
No,
Rose.
you're right. You're completely right. What do you think about this stable?
I thought it was awesome that Tom just broke it down and, broke down the barriers.
He really did.
Respect to him. But I think this might go somewhere.
You know what I think it might?
Mid-card.
I think the New Day proved if you give something time and let everything come naturally, it will happen. And the charisma that Heath Slater has, especially Curtis Axel as well, because of what he did before WrestleMania last year.
Right.
If you just give it time and don't give him no expectation, I think it will work. But I mean, if they rush it like they were going to do with New Day, like you said, it could be just a Job Squad 2.0. So, all right, to the 2 most important things that happened on Raw. There's a lot of participants inducting themselves into the Royal Rumble match that will be in 2 weeks. I think it is 2 weeks, right?
2-3 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks. January 24th. Chris Jericho, who made a surprising return in the New Day segment. The Wyatt family, Dolph Ziggler. Am I missing any more besides Big Show and Ryback because they did it last week? I forget. But all right, what do you guys think about that? Were you excited? Do any of these names that were just announced last night, do they give you any excitement on possibly winning the match, Price?
The Wyatt family, possibly, if they have a moment where all of them are inside the match together, that might be actually pretty cool.
Okay.
However, I did want to say something about Jericho. And,
Okay.
the surprise factor is gone with him.
I feel like they did it so it doesn't get ruined on a wrestling, rumor site.
But how many of you actually expected him to be in the match?
I actually did. I feel like every Rumble now, like for the last 4 years, like I have always expected Jericho, just because he'll be the one, to say, "Hey, I'm not gonna be there," and then
He's there.
Yeah, and then he's there. Malloy, any of these guys that announced, are you excited for any of them to perform? Or do you
I
think
just
any of them
think
will win?
overall, if it's done correctly, a lot of these participants can go into really good feuds from the Rumble.
Okay.
Like, who's the big guy? Braun Strowman. There you go. Click, click. Braun Strowman, I think this could make up a big storyline for him to face off against, unfortunately, Undertaker at WrestleMania.
You think they're going to do that? You don't think it's going to be Cena anymore? Cena and Undertaker?
I'm not too sure, but who's going to throw Braun Strowman over the top?
Big Show.
Big Show, Brock Lesnar, Bray Wyatt.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Wyatt?
just saying.
He's going to throw his own.
I'm not saying that he
He's the
will,
black
but
sheep.
I mean, hey, all Bray Wyatt needs to do is just do like some, like cult thing, and then they can just
Who
throw
walks
themselves
out?
over.
Eliminate
Yeah, they could
themselves.
just eliminate themselves. Something to go with that cult thing that they've been doing. Last thing, at the end of Raw, obviously, Vince McMahon goes, "All right, Roman, your slogan's one versus all. Well, you're gonna defend your title, against 29 other men in the Rumble." And for the first time since 1992, that is the case. So it would be a WWE title Royal Rumble match. So your thoughts on that stipulation? Do you think it will affect any storyline, or potential matches for Royal Rumble itself, Tom?
I think overall this is a great thing. It's really going to prove if Roman wins, he is the top dog of the company. But I mean, I have a ways of looking at this myself. I feel as though with Lesnar coming back next week, Lesnar's probably going to win the Rumble. Have Lesnar versus Reigns at the Fastlane or Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Kevin Owens wins the number one contendership match. Triple H versus Reigns Royal Rumble. Triple H versus Reigns WrestleMania. Kevin Owens versus Lesnar main event WrestleMania. Just want to call that now.
I'm trying. It's gonna be Fastlane. Elimination Chamber is gonna be in the summers again. Okay, so you think Lesnar's gonna win the title?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gonna win the Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay. Price, what do you think about the stipulation? Does it bring any more intrigue?
Of course it does. I mean, you have all these people, like when you watch the 92 Rumble, there was so many rivalries and storylines that were going through there, and there was more significance to the title in 92 because you didn't know who was going to win it.
Yeah,
because
plus
it was vacant.
decade worth of names that were there.
It was the greatest Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Well,
name-wise.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I think it's awesome overall.
Now,
hopefully Reigns doesn't win.
Especially if Reigns doesn't win?
Yeah. Especially if Reigns does not win.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you. Here's my scenario. If Vince wants to screw Reigns out of the Rumble, right, why doesn't he make him number one? Do you think he'll do that?
Number two.
Or number two?
Number one is Big Show.
No, I heard that's not really official.
Well, then, yes.
I think you just said that as a joke.
He's the first entrant. He was the first person to enter themselves in the Rumble this year.
So you think he does? I mean, I just don't understand if he's going to put the title on the line, how he doesn't say you're going to be the number one entrant.
What if he's number 30?
That's what I was going to say. Like, what if he is number 27 or 30 or 29?
He has the shortest Royal Rumble time.
Yeah,
knocked out 2.2 seconds.
That'd be crazy, but I think this definitely brings a lot of intrigue. I might have to rewrite my article, but I had an article. I was writing it, and I was going to say how this Rumble is pretty much like the must. Like, this Rumble is the most important one, and definitely probably since the early 2000s, because the last three haven't been that great. You're trying to build up the biggest WrestleMania, in history, so you need 2 months solid build up, not like the last couple WrestleManias where it's been a 1 month build up. So I think this does bring a lot of intrigue for viewers to watch from Rumble to WrestleMania, and I think this is the perfect way to do it. So. Next week we'll obviously go in depth with the Rumble card and the Rumble match itself, and we'll make our predictions. Maybe we'll do a little gambling.
Jake the Snake Roberts is coming back.
I don't know, man. We'll see. I mean, I hope it happens, but I don't know how. So stay tuned for next week when we go down the card. Like I said, as always, the episode before a big pay-per-view. So when we come back, it's our topic discussion. Should WWE wrestlers and divas, superstars and divas, script or have their promo scripted, or should they have free reign to do whatever they want? Here are our thoughts when we come back.
Hi, I'm Robert from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, here to tell you about our Twitter account. Follow our page at PriMalLow Show for fan interaction regarding professional wrestling. Thank you, and we can't wait to hear from you.
Welcome back to episode number 40. It is the first episode of the 2016 year of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Rich Lopez. Robert Price and Tom Lawyer are also with me. No, hello.
Hi.
Oh, there we go. Real quick, just want to say thank you to everybody who's been following us on social media. Got a lot of followers this week, so we appreciate it, and definitely keep them coming. We love to interact with you guys. Now, on to the topic discussion. Scripted promos. We talked about it right before we started doing the show, me and Malloy. Jericho and Mick Foley have been obviously very, very critical, and I guess Steve Austin, too, has also been very, very critical of how WWE Creative is really scripting everybody's promos, and it doesn't give the superstars or divas free reign on what to do. So we'll just go right into it right now. Do you think the promos that wrestling is having currently, should they be so scripted, or should the athletes have more free reign on what to do? Malloy?
I feel as though like the athletes should have more free reign on what to do. Even John Cena even said in his podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin that he feels not a lot of guys they're afraid to go against what is written down and given to them. Like, I mean, when you're out there, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to cut your mic off? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can go out there and say things, do things differently. I don't think wrestling, when you're coming from, the independent scene, you're not given a script and say, here, you're given an angle and you have to work with it.
Yeah.
And that's what I think you should do on that professional level as well.
My rebuttal to that, though, about the indie scene is that you don't have that opportunity to really speak on the mic anyway.
No, you're very true.
You're known for wrestling. You're not known for talking. Go ahead, Price.
Right, you're right.
Okay.
However, if you get to like Ring of Honor or something, I mean, you have to sell. If you're in the independent scene, you have to sell that month-long feud in the matter of 12 minutes.
Exactly. The thing with the reason why I think wrestlers or divas don't say no to scripted promos is because they don't know exactly what to say and how to say it. Especially since the majority of these guys are from the indies, they don't have that much mic time. So if you have to do a 5-minute promo, which is a lot, if you break it down on a live broadcast,
right?
They're just gonna do what they're getting told because it's the safest way to go. You don't want to go away from the script and then butcher it because it makes both you guys look bad, and that just what I mean. But I do. Well, go ahead, Price.
With so many people coming through NXT, I believe that they should have free range of their promos. Yeah, you still should have the writers there. So okay, you want to hit these 5 points. Mm-hmm. That's like The Rock, how he was brought out with the wrist controversy.
Yeah,
he had certain things. That's how you should have it.
I completely agree.
Hit these 5 points during your promo. Go.
Yep, and Paul Heyman's always said that. He's like, it's really simple. If it's all you need to do is simplify a promo. Just say, all right, where do you want to go with this feud, so I can say it and what I'm gonna do to get there and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like, who said it? One of you guys said it a couple weeks ago. Like, we always compare everything to the Attitude Era, and obviously everything on the mic was so much edgier and just better. But somebody said like they had competition, which was WCW, and ECW. So there's a lot of free reign to do whatever you want because we're gonna have we need viewers. So if you go a little bit crazy, we get viewership out of it.
And so many superstars nowadays, there's no other outlet for them to go to, so they're more cautious with what they need to do.
Yeah.
And I believe it was just on Breaking Ground a couple nights ago. Triple H said to Apollo Crews, "I'd rather pull you back than push you out."
Yep. That's completely. I remember seeing that, and I was like, and that's what I like about Triple H. I feel like he's gonna do that. He's gonna allow more free reign when he gets,
of course,
almost total control.
You have NXT, where we've seen on Breaking Ground, and we've heard so often that they have these promo classes every single week / night.
Yep.
If you're doing that,
you're gonna get free reign by the main
365, roster. Right? You're gonna have more control over your promos, more control of where you need to go. Because they'll know you already have the tools to get there.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. All right, so obviously, like we said, a lot of these wrestlers are from the indie scene, so I guess not script them as much, but maybe like you said, Price, like 3 to 5 bullet points, depending on the time that you're given on the mic. But when do you think, like The Rock and Cena and Austin, Triple H probably had it, Shawn Michaels definitely probably had it. When do you think you should have complete free reign?
5 years.
5 years? Okay. Why do you say 5 years?
Because after you're inside the company for 5 years, you should understand like how almost everything works and the psychology of it and what you need to do. I mean, obviously there should be kind of restraints on that. It gets larger and larger and larger your control as the years go on.
Yeah, exactly. Moy, what do you think?
I mean, that 5-year point is actually a very great idea to have at. But also you have to look at, too, like John Cena, I mean, WWE's not going to fire him.
Well, now, but I mean, you have to think about it. Like, when do you think
Tom's all about the firing tonight.
Yeah, he really is. He's like the boss.
I'm like Sasha Banks. Yeah, I'm the boss.
You are the boss. But, but say like Cena back in, say, 2004, because he's really, really popular, but he's not that guy yet. And technically he's only been in the company for 2 years. Do you think he had free reign, or do you think he should have got free reign if he didn't? Like
he said a lot of stuff. Like, I mean, his raps, they were raw.
Yeah, true, but the audience also finished the raps with the bad words. Yeah, I mean, like you said, like
and they were all scripted.
Do you think so?
All those. Yeah.
I heard he was. I heard
there was a rap battle that they showed a video, and it was him, and it was Kenny Dystra, but he was a fan.
Oh, really? Well, no. I mean, with the superstars. I thought they were all.
It all started actually because Vince McMahon was on the bus with them. I remember I either read it or it was a different podcast. Listening to it, John Cena. He was on the back of the bus rapping with someone.
Yeah.
And Vince McMahon's like, "All right, that's your gimmick."
Yeah, because
he's pretty much
I don't want to shy away
himself.
too much from this. Yeah, he was being himself, and R-Truth and John Morrison said that that's all Cena would do backstage is just he either do a freestyle rap and then like 2 minutes later he's listening to a country song. Like that's all it was. That's why. But I mean like that's why I have like curiosity. Like Reigns and Ambrose and Rollins, they're the guys, and Wyatt too. Those 4 guys are kind of like where that Cena was when he in 04. They're established for like the last 2 to 3 years, but obviously they're not at that high level yet because there's still a Cena or Orton or Lesnar. So I want to see, especially Reigns and Ambrose, because Ambrose does a lot of, I guess emotions, but he doesn't really get a lot of mic time. I want to see them both get free reign, no pun intended.
And I think too, even with Bray Wyatt, I think because a lot
he's
of the
probably
stuff,
the one that has the most free reign, I would assume.
I saw in a podcast when he was just being himself. He said, "I work with the rioters because he goes, that's actually how I feel about society."
Yeah, no, yeah.
When he talks about society, he's just like, "Yeah, I actually do feel this way."
It's completely true. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like they need to shy away from the script, go closer to them, and hopefully. So you say 5 years, and did you agree with them? Because you said that idea.
I more or less agreed. I mean, there's just a certain point you hit where you know what you're doing, and you should just go with it.
I completely agree. If somebody is hindered on the mic for years, a la Cesaro, that's the first one I always think of.
Yep.
Maybe Swagger, who this is kind of what's leading me into this. Do you think there should be more managers, or even not? I guess a manager like well, because Vicky Guerrero was a general manager turned manager, I guess. But do you think there should be more like talking heads or advisors or whatever they want to call them?
You can even bring back some old wrestlers, like even just say Charlotte if she wasn't good on the mic. Ric Flair was decent on the mic. Mm-hmm. Have him talk, or even JBL would be a great manager.
That's cool. I like that idea. Cause I was thinking, I was just wondering.
Booker T would be a good manager.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. How about you? More managers?
I think there should be more managers. However, there isn't.
I know. I just don't understand
you
why.
look at NXT. Who has a manager?
I know.
It's kind of like a thing of the past, almost.
Right.
It's more like divas and superstars like uniting.
However, it's hard to talk on a mic. This is something that always happened. I mean, you could look through all the managers that are out there now. Not too many of them even know how to talk on a mic.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. I mean, I'm having trouble talking on the mic right now, so I can't, envision.
That's just you.
It is just me. I can't envision, 20,000 people staring at me. But anyway, I definitely think there should be more managers and bring back the golden years in the 80s.
Yeah.
But when we come back, it is our PriMalLow Mailbag. We're taking a question from Mike, who is an avid listener, so thank you for listening. When we come back, it's PriMalLow Mailbag.
The PriMalLow Wrestling Show.
There we go. Hey, I'm Rich Lopez from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Don't forget to hear our new episodes of the PriMalLow Wrestling Show on SoundCloud. Episodes are uploaded every Tuesday night. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome back. It is time for our third segment of episode 40 of the 2016 year. I'm just full of numbers, just like the Rumble. Now that ending to that last segment was not scripted, I just really can't talk on the mic, so thank you, Price, for covering for me.
Oh, no problem.
PriMalLow Mailbag, where we take questions from you guys. We have one from Mike, and here it is.
What gets you annoyed when you watch wrestling? Your pet peeves. Something that happens and you just freak out. For me, it's whenever Lillian Garcia screws up, and it happens a lot.
Okay, I'm sure we, as avid, passionate wrestling fans, definitely have some pet peeves. Lloyd, do you have any pet peeves, or what do you like? What do you hate to watch when you're watching wrestling?
My current pet peeve is I don't think Brian Saxon should be on commentary.
NXT or on WWE?
WWE Raw. I just find him annoying. He doesn't fit in. I don't think with Michael Cole and JBL. I just don't think he belongs there yet. I don't think he has his footing.
Mm-hmm. I like Saxon on the pre-show, and I like him in NXT. I think Saxon is really comfortable with Graves.
Yeah, I think
he's not comfortable with JBL and Cole. He's gotten better, but he's not.
But I feel as though he's like nervous with them because if he screws up, JBL. I mean, I could see him just punching someone in the face. And Michael Cole, and Michael Cole, like just the same way, just be like, "Listen, you're an idiot. Like, come on,
I feel like a lot of people don't get along with Cole. I don't know. I just get that perception. I'm probably completely
Cole
wrong.
Was the guy
because remember he was Striker. He wasn't good with Striker.
Cole was the guy that everybody gave crap to.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And now that he's the top dog, of course he's gonna get crap back. I don't blame him.
Yeah. I can, is that it? By the way.
Yeah. That's like the.
I don't think
question off the top of the dome. That's the first thing.
I think Saxton should not be a commentator
at all
during the wrestling. It's like no Raw, no NXT pre-shows, that's fine.
Oh, see, I like him during NXT.
I don't.
I just think he gels better with Graves than he does with anyone else.
He does gel better with Graves. However, he's always that odd man out. He's that third man.
But I think of it too is how when either JR or when the King, when they were with Michael Cole back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, I don't think Michael Cole fit in with them either.
He didn't. That's why he was a backstage guy. Like,
'Cause
that's
Paul
why him and Kelly
Heyman-
Kelly were, or Kevin Kelly or Kelly Kelly?
Kevin Kelly.
Kevin Kelly,
I'm thinking
yeah.
Kelly
of
Kelly is
Kelly
a-
Kelly.
No,
Yeah,
Kelly
yeah,
Kelly,
I know.
that was when he was a hermaphrodite.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I completely agree. Price, pet peeves?
One of my biggest pet peeves is there's a spot where you would throw your opponent into the ropes and then you'd run into the ropes yourself. Ted DiBiase Jr.
He's the one who started doing that again.
Well, he started doing it again, but I hate that because when I'm running into the ropes
You're gonna keep
as an
running.
opponent and I see you running into the ropes, should I wave to you? And then like they do that spot where they just turn around and then they get clotheslined. Either grab onto the ropes or keep running and slide out of the ring.
You know what? That's actually really hysterical because I hate when, like, if I'm a wrestler and I see you do that, I'm just going to keep running to the other rope. I would never stop. I would just do like a baseball slide outside the ring.
That's exactly what I said.
Do you know what I mean? It's just crazy. My pet peeve, and it's unfortunate because it's the rule for concussion policy, I actually hated this in the 90s too. Like, I hate chair shots to the gut.
Yeah, I also do not like chair shots to the gut. I mean, here's the huge thing with the headshots, with chair shots. So, okay, you're not going to have concussions, but you're not going to be able to walk when you're 50 because your spine is just like Hulk Hogan's, that there's a big S now because you've taken repeated
Chair
shots
sorry.
to your spine.
Yep, that and his leg drops didn't help him either.
Right.
Because that compacts your spine. Just like Austin's going to be with, which is probably worse now because he had a broken neck, the stunner. I really hate chair shots to the gut just because if I'm running at you and you have a chair, I'm not going to open up my arms.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's number one. My number two is I absolutely hate, it's mainly for like Raw and SmackDown, which they don't do it as much as I thought they did, but like 2 finisher matches.
All right, so you're coming
Yeah, I mean,
forward.
I just...
And if you want to hear a little
part-
bit more about the finishers, you could go back a couple weeks ago. When
we talked about that. And even on like pointless pay-per-views, like there's no need. Yeah, like I feel like WrestleMania is the only pay, which is kind of stupid. It's really contradictory. But even if they got rid of it at WrestleMania, I wouldn't care. Like I just don't. It's a finisher. And I kind of think that the Undertaker Shawn Michaels match, which is my favorite match of all time at 25,
It needed it.
it needed it, but I think it also hurt the business after it because
Everybody tried.
everybody
to
has to do it to get to that
yeah.
level. Yeah, and like I said, if you're 2 legends, especially if you made your career at that venue like they did, you deserve to do that. Do you know what I mean? But you can't
Right.
be like the social outcast and doing 3 finishers, even though that's not going to happen. But yeah, they're the 2 things I could really think of right now. JoJo used to be, but I think she's gotten a lot better. As a ring announcer, like her voice wasn't just appealing enough.
Yeah, she's good.
She's really good now, yeah. I don't know what she did, but she's stepped up her game. So what are your pet peeves? Hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @PriMalLow Show. Facebook, we got all those likes. We could use a lot more. Just search the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, and like it. Tell us your feedback on your pet peeves. I'm sure everybody has a couple. WWE can't please everybody. So when we come back, it is time for NXT. They're gonna start having their version of the Slammies. So our crew will give our picks.
Hey, I'm Tom Malloy from the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Do you like Facebook? Do you like wrestling? Like our page. Search the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Enjoy.
Thank you for still listening to our show. It's the PriMalLow Wrestling Show, episode number 40. I was going to do our clap, but we already did it at the beginning of the show, so I didn't want to overdo it like a finisher.
Yeah.
Time for the NXT Awards. Triple H, I think he did it like last week on Twitter. He just said that there's going to be NXT Awards, female competitor, male competitor, tag team of the year, match of the year. What else? Takeover special of the year.
And the overall competitor.
And the overall competitor, which is the final one. So I'm just gonna name the nominees for each award, and then you guys give me your picks, and then we can explain, the typical routine. So, what do you want to start with, Price? Just give me which one you want to start with.
Let's go top to bottom.
Top to bottom. All right. Top to bottom, we're gonna start with the overall competitor, which is gonna I guess give like a foreshadowing of the male and the female, whoever we pick. Maybe not though. We have Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, Tyler Breeze, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Asuka. Sorry. Malloy, and before we get into explanation, in case we have the same picks, just give me your pick.
All right. Overall competitor, Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. Oh man, I didn't write this down. I'm gonna go Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Explain why Finn Balor.
I just think overall he had a really good year. He was like a really breakout star. He shined during that ladder match with Kevin Owens, and I think ever since then he's been on the up and up, and he's really putting NXT, I think, on the map.
Okay. How about you, Press?
I believe that Finn Balor, anybody that didn't know him when he came over from Japan and from the independent scene, they now know him. And overall, everybody else on this list of nominees, I think that he has put the most impact on NXT this year.
I'll completely agree with you guys. I'm just picking Owens because in the short time that he didn't need to be there long,
right?
Unlike Balor, he dominated, especially, and he had, I think, more of an overall presence, even though like he doesn't have the demon look or whatever. But Mike and match skills, I think, were better than Balor. Well, maybe not match, but definitely Mike. And I don't know, like I said, in that short time, he was only there for, like 6 months? Not even.
Right.
Like, December to...
2 months to the day he won the NXT
Yeah, exactly.
title.
That's what I always think about. But yeah, like I said, in that short span, he just dominated, so that's why I have Kevin Owens. Male competitor of the year, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, Tyler Breeze. Before I throw this to Malloy, why is Baron Corbin not nominated?
Because he's the odd man out.
He's a lone wolf.
He is the guy that's good enough, but not good enough to have the title.
Yeah, I think he will though.
He will eventually, but
I
he's still going to be in NXT for a couple of years.
Yeah,
I say 2 more years.
I say definitely no more than 2. But all right, Malloy, male competitor, who's your pick?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
Really? I'm alternating. I'm going Finn Balor.
Okay. Why did you pick Finn Balor?
Just because he doesn't have the overall skill set that Kevin has, as in like a complete superstar. Like I said, he doesn't match up to the mic. I don't think. Like I said, I guess his charisma for his entrance can kind of like substitute whatever he's losing and the overall skill set. But like I said before the show, I feel like that's losing value. Like I don't know why I felt like in London, it just didn't pop as what it usually does. So I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. And plus, you guys know I'm a Kevin Owens fan. I am a Finn Balor fan, but I'm a Kevin Owens fan more. How about why'd you guys pick Balor? Or Kevin Owens, sorry.
I picked Kevin Owens because, look at the year he had in a short amount of time. 2015 was the year of Kevin Owens. He came in, dominated NXT, left NXT, beat John Cena his first night. While holding that NXT title. Yeah. So he represented, I think, NXT to a higher level than anyone else on that NXT roster did.
Okay. Price?
I picked Kevin Owens not because of what he did when he went up to the main roster, because I think that's kind of a gray area.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Especially when they talk about any NXT people. I just think, but I do agree with Tom, he did have one hell of a year.
Yeah.
Anybody that walks in and then 2 months later, you have the title, you just skipped over everybody in that roster.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I picked him.
Okay. Female competitor of the year. Bayley, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Asuka.
Sasha Banks.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that? Well, sorry, hold on.
Charlotte.
Ooh. Do I need to say mine?
I know you picked Sasha Banks.
It's Banks. Sasha Banks. All right, well, Malloy, I'm sure I'm going to agree with everything you say, but why Sasha?
I don't know. I think overall she had a standout year. She was kind of to me, she had a underdog kind of a story. She's a really small girl. She's not a big girl. She kind of went against the odds, in my opinion, to make the star power that she made for herself.
Oh, okay. I'll give you that then. Price. I'll give mine.
I picked Charlotte because you both picked Sasha Banks. You have Bailey and you have Becky Lynch. Asuka, she didn't really wrestle
Too
Asuka.
late, yeah. It's unfortunate, but too late.
Everybody else of these nominees, Charlotte propelled them. Took them to the next level.
I can see that.
I disagree with Tom saying that Sasha Banks is the underdog because we all know that Bailey's was the underdog.
I was gonna fill in for him, but I didn't want to mess up the flow. So keep going.
That's it.
Okay,
she
sorry.
was the person that everybody used as a stepping stone to be at the talent they are now.
Okay. To kind of go up with what Malloy said about Sasha. Obviously, I know you mean by like behind the scenes, she is a really small girl and stuff like that. But obviously on the on screen, which is what we have to give the awards for, she is the boss. She did run the whole division. The reason why I have Sasha Banks and not Bailey, because Bailey would have been my number 2. So I think Charlotte would have won last year if they had the awards, but Bailey's performance with Nia Jax, even though what she had to work with was somebody that was still green, very green, every takeover match that Sasha Banks had was, I thought, you could make an argument for match of the night. The one at Unstoppable with Becky Lynch, Rival, the Fatal 4-Way. I'm sorry, the one with Charlotte at Unstoppable. The one at Rival was with, not Rival. What's the one I'm looking at right here? Hold on. I forgot. She had one with Becky Lynch. Which one was it? Am I losing it?
I want to say it was a takeover.
It was a takeover. I just don't know which one it was.
Takeover.
I just forgot what it was. But that obviously stole. Oh, it was Unstoppable.
Yeah, it was Unstoppable.
Rival was the Fatal 4-Way. That's what it was. And then Brooklyn, obviously, which I thought was NXT Match of the Year, which I'll talk about that later. And then Respect. So, I mean, like, all those matches. And Bailey, obviously, had decent matches. But the only matches that I think were, like, Match of the Year worthy for her were with Sasha. So, that's why I picked Sasha. Tag Team of the Year. This is going to be also a very intriguing category. Blake and Murphy, the Vaudevillains, Enzo Amore and Big Cass, Dash and Dawson, I can never say that, and then the Lucha Dragons. Malloy?
I'm going to go Enzo Amore and Big Cass.
Do I even need to say? Do I need to ask Price?
Vaudevillains.
Okay. I'm thinking Blake and Murphy.
Why did you pick Blake and Murphy?
Murphy?
Murphy.
Charlie Murphy. The reason why is because I don't know why, like, they just gelled so much. Even when they lost the titles to the Vaudevillains, I was leaning towards them. Obviously, I'm a big Enzo and Cass fan, but let's face it, like, I really just think they're held down there just to stabilize the NXT division. And then as soon as Dash and Dawson and Gable are there, and Jordan, so that's already 2 teams, they're going to just get moved up. So I just thought they were like a placeholder, unfortunately. Blake and Murphy, I don't know, I feel like when they won the titles, they just weren't proven, but they just, whatever, like, when they got that opportunity, they took it, and they had great, you know what I mean? Like, I was actually thinking about doing Dash and Dawson because I love what they do, but that would have been really biased because they haven't been there all year. But Blake and Murphy's been there for some time, and they had a couple. I mean, I think it was overlooked because of the takeover, the matches that followed them, but they had really good tag team matches. So.
But what you're saying is you wouldn't pick Dash and Dawson because that's the most freshest in your mind
That's
because it's biased?
No,
is that kind of like Kalisto when he won the Oh My God moment of the year?
No, it's not. I'm saying Dash
okay.
and Dawson wasn't there too late. Don't get me started on the slavery. We're on this award show. But no, if they were there later, I would have. Or if they were there earlier, I would have probably picked them because I just love what they do. What?
I picked not the Vaudevillains. I picked Enzo Amore and Big Cass just because I just thought they dominate the tag team division. I think they're the best on the mic. I think they did a good.
They did get better on the ring.
Yeah,
a lot better on the ring. I'll say that.
I really like Enzo Amore.
He is. He's cool.
I just think it's a cool thing they got going on.
You can never go wrong with a big guy and little guy tag team. It never goes wrong. Why'd you pick the Vaudevillains?
I picked the Vaudevillains because I had Enzo Amore and Big Cass, but I crossed them out because of the fact that I kind of think that Enzo Amore and Cass kind of have that before the bell and after the bell sizzle.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's all it is.
When you get into the match, that's when the fans go back into their seats and kind of just watch the
wrestling.
match.
Yep, I know what you mean. But you have to admit, though, they have gotten better, though.
They have gotten better inside the ring. However,
Yes.
they are not the best in the ring. The Vaudevillains, you have Aiden English, who was a singles competitor, and he was good. He had a singing gimmick. It was awesome. But he wasn't enough to break the mold. And then you have Simon Gotch, who was a Rosebud.
Yeah.
So you took these two broken superstars, put them together, and then they were able to make the Vaudevillains, which is one of the most popular teams in NXT. Then they won the belt.
I guess in essence, if I wanted to go into my theory, which I always do, they did beat Blake and Murphy. Vaudevillains are my number 2, so I could pick them. But I don't know, Blake and Murphy. They just when they got that opportunity, they took it. That's why I have mine. But I obviously, like I said, for me, it's 1A, 1B, one of those two. So I can't go wrong with your decision. Do you want to save that one for last?
Yeah, we'll save that one for last.
All right, because like I said, although we kind of picked it last week when we did the 2015 in review.
Yeah, we did.
Kind of, but anyway, best NXT match. I think there's like 7 here. Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Both of them are actually on here. The NXT Brooklyn and the NXT Respect, the 30-minute Iron Woman match. Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. It was the Beast in the East special, July 4th. The Fatal 4-Way Women's title match, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Bayley, Becky Lynch at the NXT TakeOver Rival. Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, NXT TakeOver London. Sasha Banks and Charlotte, which was on a NXT taping on July 15th. Finn Balor and Neville, which is a very overlooked match, NXT Rival TakeOver. And then Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, NXT TakeOver Rival. That was their second one, I believe. Their second match. Oh, and the final one, Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, NXT TakeOver Unstoppable, which is what I was trying to explain. If I looked at that, I would have got it right. Malloy, what are your pick? What are you picking there?
I'm picking Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens, the Beast in the East
Really?
special. I don't know, like I really wasn't much in NXT this summer until I watched that.
Okay.
So I was just like, I'm like, wow, this is actually like, I'm like, why would I watch the minor leagues? It's like going to a Rail Riders game. Who cares?
I know what you mean.
So
Rail Riders is the minor league to the Yankees for the outside local listeners.
No, but I mean, like, what's the point? Like, you want to watch the main players. You don't want to watch you want to see them when they're groomed. You don't want to see them before they get to that point. But I feel as though NXT is a great product, and from that match, it kind of just like was like, wow, I think I'm gonna watch this again next week.
Okay, nice little personal story.
Yeah.
Malloy, Price, you could explain this one since I just effed up the flow.
Okay, I picked Sasha Banks versus Bayley because speaking of NXT, we say NXT is one of the specials, Unstoppable. Unstoppable is what is trying to get away from people talking about this match.
Which one was it? Brooklyn?
It's Brooklyn. Sasha Banks versus Bayley. This match is a match that totally stole the show. Not only did it steal the show, but nobody expected it to steal the show.
Yeah.
And it organically happened, and it propelled Bayley with this underdog story that she was never good enough to do it, and that's always an awesome storyline when they eventually get the title.
Yep, Daniel Bryan, Bayley. I'm sure there's a couple more. Shawn Michaels when he first won it. Price, we always disagree. And I'm not going to right now because you already know how I feel about this match. Well, you know what my number 2 would be, though? It would be NXT Respect, Banks versus Bayley. The only knock on that one is because, like you said, or we've talked about it a million times, it wasn't organic. I mean, the one at Brooklyn, it was still probably like 20 minutes long. Very, very organic. Like you said, the underdog story, Bayley finally won. The crowd just erupted. It was just a great match. And I don't think, like you said, it wasn't meant to be that big of a match because of Kevin Owens and Finn Balor in a ladder match.
Right. That was supposed to take the show.
Exactly, and it didn't. So that just proves how good that match was. The last category, something that we always beef on a lot, we as in Price and myself, we'll have Molly go first, and you can explain it if you want. Best NXT TakeOver Special. I don't know why Unstoppable is not on this list. It's not nominated. But Rival, Brooklyn, Respect, and London. They are the 4 that are nominated. We want to pick. Make your pick.
My pick's Brooklyn. I don't know. Like yet again, it's another personal story. I just remember having a good time, like watching a full length NXT special. We were at your apartment. It was one of the last weekends we were there. We had a great time. We watched it. I got to learn a little bit more about NXT in the long haul. So I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. It was the first full NXT pay-per-view that I've watched.
Okay. Malloy, or I could say Malloy Price.
I picked Brooklyn for some strange reason. It had the number 1 match, as we
talked about.
I agree with you on that. And also, you had Kevin Owens leaving. You had Apollo Crews coming in on his birthday, debuting for NXT.
I don't care about no birthday, Price.
You had Blue Pants, which is the greatest diva for NXT.
Of course, for you, yeah.
And that's about it.
That's it? How's that your favorite one? You didn't even name a match besides
The Vaudevillains won the titles.
There you go. You gotta explain.
Then you had
where.
Baron Corbin versus Samoa Joe, which was over.
I'm a salesman.
overlooked.
Sell me.
Then you
why.
had Sasha Banks and Bayley, which was the greatest match of 2015.
Okay.
Then you had Kevin Owens leaving, giving the title to Finn Balor in a match that I believe was good. Not the best ladder match that NXT had, but still good indeed.
Okay. I'm changing my pick from last week.
What?
And I actually almost, before I watched the special, which kind of just gave the hint away of last night's Breaking Ground, I almost picked it last week when we did the 2015 year in review.
Yeah.
Respect is really good because, like we said, we didn't know if it was going to be good after the hype of Brooklyn, number one, which I thought was a letdown for me. Sorry, Price. And it was based on tag teams. So that's why I didn't think it was good. However, think of how good the tag team matches were. Do you think they were good?
Yes.
No,
I believe
okay.
the semifinals.
That's what I mean.
were good.
Even the finals was good, but I feel like it wasn't as good as the semifinal matches.
Correct.
Okay. Obviously, the Iron Man match, like I said, that was my second favorite NXT match. So that's there. Tyler Breeze and Apollo Crews. I think that's the best Apollo Crews match that he's had on a takeover.
Oh, yeah, that was a great match.
Exactly. What else am I missing? Am I missing any more? Asuka and Dana Brooke was actually, for me, I thought Dana Brooke performed better than I thought she was going to.
And then later
she
knowing.
was hurt. Yeah, so now
Right.
looking back on it, she's hurt. So that even speaks volumes to her ability. So for me, and that's another thing too. I think that was a changing point. We always just talk about like how the '92 WWF back in the day, and they had to switch to the new generation. That revolving door. I feel like Respect was the first one without like their big players like Kevin Owens and Sasha and Charlotte was there. She was on the pre-show. Do you know what I mean? But like that was.
And she was in front row with Lita.
Yeah, I mean, but like Respect was the very first one with like newer faces, and I thought it delivered.
It did deliver, yes.
So yeah, that's why it was either gonna be Respect or Rival for me because, like I said last week, there was a lot of good singles matches on Rival, but to do 3 good tag team matches on a card when tag team, it's not really that big of a thing anymore. I thought it was very, very impressive. So, tell us your thoughts on social media. I definitely want to hear your best NXT Takeover special and see if you agree with any of us. I'm sorry, Price, you don't hate me for Brooklyn.
It's okay.
Like you were 2 weeks ago.
It's okay.
When we come back, it's time to close out our show as always with our Self High Five. The Royal Rumble has that 30-man, Battle Royal match, but another integral part is the WWE title matches, and we're going to give our list from 5 through 1, so stay tuned. It's time to close out the show. Self High Five.
What?
Self High Five.
One more time
What?
now.
Self High Five.
Now tell
Hey.
me now.
Episode 40, Self High Five. I'm joking.
What?
I'm joking. Time to close out our show as always, Self High Five. This week's topic, like I said before the break, is favorite Royal Rumble WWE title matches. Like I said, back in the the 90s, it was if you won the title match, you were automatically the champion going into WrestleMania. That has kind of changed, and now they have a match at the February pay-per-view. But traditionally, champion at Rumble wins will defend at WrestleMania. So it's a big part of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view and the, I guess, mystique about it. So, Moy, since you've been leading off our segment so well this episode, give us your 5 through 1. And don't be afraid to explain a couple.
All right, 5 through 1. HBK versus Psycho Sid, 1997. Ric Flair wins the Royal Rumble in 92 to catch the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. HBK versus The Undertaker in a 98 Royal Rumble.
That is correct.
Cactus Jack versus Triple H Street Fight. Triple H versus HBK 2004. To talk about any of them, Ric Flair winning, I think that was a very momentous occasion in the WWF. His first year in the company, and he comes out on top. And I think he was gone a little bit after WrestleMania.
No, he was there till February of 93. So
oh, really? Yeah, so that was like the year
January
of Flair.
93,
so if you want to think about it, it's like the year of Flair. That was probably the best Royal Rumble in history. I mean, you had all those heavy hitters. You had him. You had Roddy Piper. You had Psycho Sid in there. I mean, there's like from all the generation. You had a young Shawn Michaels in there.
Yeah, Warrior.
You had Warrior.
Warrior
Yeah.
wasn't in
Yeah, Hogan.
92. Warrior wasn't in 92 Rumble.
Warrior was in Rumble.
He wasn't in the 92 Rumble,
He was on
man.
the card.
No, he wasn't. He was fired. Remember he makes his debut at WrestleMania 8 again?
It was his stunt double.
Yeah,
Kerry
right.
Von Erich.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the
in
Texas
that.
Tornado.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was like, Warrior wasn't in it. Sergeant Slaughter at that time, who was so big because he was the ex-champion. I got you.
Yeah.
Give me that. Can you please explain the Last Man Standing match? I know that gets a lot of like.
I just love that
Fame, but I just
rivalry. I
understand
love Triple H, so I mean that's probably pretty biased. I just think it was like a brutal fight for those two, and I feel as though they should have went on to main event WrestleMania by themselves.
I agree. I always say it should have been Benoit, Angle, and Guerrero. I think that'd be insane.
That'd be a crazy match.
That'd be
That's
the
what I
best
mean.
technical wrestling match that probably ever happened.
Ever, exactly.
But that Triple H Shawn Michaels feud should have ended at WrestleMania, and it
With
could have been a
Michaels
great
winning.
match. Yep.
Because he's better than Triple H.
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna argue with me.
No.
I'm trying to get a
it's-
little something out of you.
No, it's a valid point. I mean, it is what it is. You know, he made what Triple H is.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. I mean, I like your list. Yeah.
I also number 3 with the HBK versus Taker. I just felt like that set up.
Kane.
It didn't set up really for Kane for me. It set up the Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, okay.
Because for Shawn Michaels getting hurt, it meant from
Oh.
HBK being the main guy to setting up Austin as the main guy.
Automatically, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that. I thought you meant the Kane turning on Undertaker. Price 5 through 1. Don't be afraid to explain.
My number 5, Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar versus Cena from 2015. It's a match that's very close to our hearts, the PriMalLow crew. Number 4,
We were there.
Umanga versus
No, it
John
was
Cena.
Umanga.
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 He said both.
He did. He said a whole bunch of them.
Versus Cena, last man standing match.
That's my. Yep.
2007.
Indeed.
My number 3, The Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter from 1991. Number 2, the 1992 Royal Rumble. And my number 1, The Rock versus Mankind I Quit match.
Give me the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, I know he's one of your favorite wrestlers, but Ultimate Warrior and Sergeant Slaughter.
From
won.
Sergeant Slaughter coming back and not wrestling for a while after a little vacation.
Like 8 years.
Right.
Is that what it was? I think it was 8 or I think it was like 6 years or something.
That build up for that match was awesome. The way that Warrior lost the title, but he didn't lose the title. You know what I mean? Like, because
Man looked
Macho Man
strong.
came out and it built up a great match that would follow from both of them, I suppose.
Yeah. And especially with that Iraq USA storyline.
Very edgy.
Yeah, I mean, very edgy, very good. And I have to say, because I was going to put that on my countdown, but that is the best traditional, like singles one-on-one, I think, like
Right.
non-gimmick title match. That or, I don't know, there's a whole
And
bunch.
Warrior's outfit was awesome.
Yes. Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Any more you want to explain?
I want to explain the Rock versus Mankind I Quit match because, you see, this match could never happen again.
That's a fact.
You
There's
can't
two
have
matches
the
that'll
chair
never
shots.
happen. Hell in a Cell match and the I Quit match.
You can't have the chair shots to the head unless medicine, goes years beyond, but whatever. And also, you can't have electricity. Can't do that spot anymore because that really happened. And also, you can't be out cold and then still have to wrestle.
Yes.
1992 Royal Rumble was awesome. You had so many legends. That was the greatest of talent inside of a Rumble match.
Okay.
And that's what I want to say. How about you, Rich?
My 5 through 1 is Yokozuna versus Undertaker 1994 casket match. Brock Lesnar versus John Cena versus Seth Rollins 2015. Mankind versus Rock I Quit match 1999. Umaga versus John Cena Last Man Standing match 2007. And then Cactus Jack versus Triple H in 2000. Honorable mention. You have Ultimate Warrior on your list. I'm going to do another curveball. I'm going to do Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon. I
That's
like
a good
that.
match.
93. Another traditional singles match that is just, I don't know, just forgotten, I guess. I don't know, my Cactus Jack versus Triple H one, just that really, really propelled, like, we always say, like, Mankind's feuds, like, it had to, promote somebody who was known as a good wrestler and a good, charismatic superstar and just push him over to the animalistic side. And that's
It's primal side.
yeah, there you go, primal side. I like what
Whoa.
you did there. There you go. With Triple H, because what he did in that match was just brutal with the the barbed wire and the thumbtacks, and it obviously progressed into the Hell in a Cell match at No Way Out. What else do I have here? Yokozuna versus Undertaker. By the way, we all have Mankind on the list. That's why I did a little segue with him as our interlude song. Just because, he had a good stretch there of Rumble matches. I guess the one, everybody, I think, explained a couple other ones. But Yokozuna versus Undertaker, I think the intrigue was, like, how is Undertaker going to lose a match that he created? And it took 11 guys. But just the way that was set up. And then, when the urn smoke gets out, that's when he can't fight anymore. It was just really good storytelling. And then the resurrection, of course, which everybody thinks was corny, like, looking back on it. I thought it was really good because it brought it back a reinvented Undertaker.
It was great storytelling. Also, Undertaker took the best elbow drop ever.
No, I think he took the best splash ever.
That too.
That's insane. Like,
he did not move.
He didn't move. It's amazing. He had a lot of trust in his in the wrestlers back then. But yeah, and then I love that casket. That's my favorite casket. The
double wide, double deep.
Well, no,
casket.
yeah, I know that, but I mean, like, the inside was just all red, so it was just amazing. And the last one I'll explain: Umaga versus John Cena. The build up to that match was amazing because Cena won at New Year's Revolution with like a roll up. So obviously he has to knock Umaga out for 10 seconds, which he wasn't even pinned really for 3 seconds. He kicked out like 3.5. Do you know what I mean? Or for longer than 3 seconds. And then the ending, like, it made Umaga look so strong. It was amazing. He gets choked with the rope and then gets right back up and then he gets choked out completely. So, and then a lot of vicious spots. Running up the table, the announcer's monitor, just a lot of good stuff in that match. And Cena was bleeding like a pig in that, and it kind of made him step up to that. He's a good person on the mic, good performer, but he never really had that animalistic match. He had maybe 1 or 2, but especially in the Euro 6, he didn't at all. So that one in 07 brought it back out. We are the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. We have social media: Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube. We got everything.
And much. Blogger.
And Blogger. Sorry, I thought I said that. The only thing we don't have is Instagram, but maybe we'll work on that. We'll see. Twitter handle is @PriMalLow Show. You can search our page on Facebook, the PriMalLow Wrestling Show. Anything else, guys? Anything else?
Our sign-offs.
Sign-offs.
See ya.
This is the best podcast in the WWE.
Nice. Stay tuned with episode 41 where we preview the Royal Rumble event next week. Thank you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned for 41.